owning your health is making space for sexual wellness. And if you feel a little bit uncomfortable talking about it, you're not alone.
No. So we are going to open up the conversation with Today contributor Bobbie Thomas and Dr. Jessica Shepard, an OBGYN and Chief Medical Officer at Verywell Health.
But first, let's take a look as Bobbie opens up about intimacy.
It's been a really big year. I never thought after saying I do, I would be out there dating as a mother and a caretaker at one point. But I think women in general, just busy working, you just like put your needs last. So besides the annual checkup with your OBGYN, the idea of sexual wellness is a foreign concept to many of us. I remember speaking to Kimberly of Little Big Town, who is a fellow widow, right after I lost my husband. She suggested I should get a massage. And it's as if she poked something I wasn't even really thinking about, missing touch. I mean, yeah, you have friends and family that give you a hug, but getting your hair tucked behind your ear or holding hands. And yes, intimacy, like I missed my husband, but it was like I got so good at missing it that I wasn't like even aware that I should need it. I was nervous about dating on so many levels, but when the butterflies hit and there was chemistry, all of a sudden I cared if my underwear was matching. And I remember thinking, when is the last time I actually bought a cute bra? You don't really think about it at first. All of a sudden you're, oh, I need to get a pedicure. You're shaving your legs every shower. And for me, it was a big reality check. I felt good. I was happy. And it wasn't just because I liked someone, and that's great. I think I was happy because I hadn't felt like this about me in so long. I walked into a Medi-Spa for a wax. This wasn't just a regular Medi-Spa. It was about down there care that went far beyond grooming. It was as if the universe was conspiring to help me figure something out. There were so many modern options and treatments available to help somebody get from not really feeling like they want to be intimate to wanting to make it a priority. When intimacy has been out of the picture for so long, it can be terrifying, scary. There's so much insecurity sometimes connected to how you feel about yourself, how comfortable you are being with someone else, vulnerable on many levels, not just naked, and how you think about yourself. And for some, sex is traumatic. That is important to recognize, but I also feel like it's important to hear from people like me that I had the opposite experience. I felt empowered. I felt connected to my own body, and it was as if, I cried. I couldn't believe how good it felt to feel so comfortable with myself. And honestly, that's when sex is good. That's when you want it. It's when you are good with you that it's exciting to share you with somebody else. I'm putting this out there because I want to learn more. I don't have all the answers. I'm definitely not going to be Dr. Ruth in my next chapter, but I know that when I talk about it with girlfriends, I feel better. It feels good to be supported and that I don't feel alone. So let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
Owning
Bobbie.
it.
Hi,
Yeah.
Dr. Shepard. That was so beautiful, Bobbie, and so enlightening. I didn't actually know that part of the story.
One of my favorite parts of our studio but extended family, the viewers, is that we get to be girlfriends. And I heard from so many of you who have followed the dating diary I've posted, and doctor, so many women, I don't want to waste the time because I want to ask for them.
Right.
They all talked about feeling like intimacy was a chore, another thing on the to-do list.
Yeah.
And what a miss sometimes. I'm guilty. When I was married, I've been there. But when you can figure it out, help us understand what are the solutions for those that are struggling with their libido and they want to get back out there. What can you do to help increase drive?
Well, one of the things, and I love your story because so many other women are going through that, is that when you think of intimacy and libido, it really does start a lot with our emotional connection and our mind-body. And even like you said, there are people who are married or, you know, in relationships who really are not intimate. So I think the internal part of what we think of how we connect is a big part of sexual wellness. And also the ability to talk about it and be open like you're sharing.
Well, and I also, it didn't make the piece, but something I said, because I don't want you to think about intimacy as just having a partner.
Yeah.
If you don't have a partner, still figuring out what feels good is the first step before you can tell somebody else what feels good for you. I just think that's important, because so many people that are alone feel like, oh, this is not for me because I'm not in a relationship.
But you even said it at the end, as you feel that connection with someone else starts with when you felt good with yourself. And I think that's a message that we could share with even younger women to start to understand the importance of knowing yourself. And sexual wellness is a big part of that.
I think as women age, I think the other side of that coin is your libido seems to decrease, but you want it back again.
Yeah.
And that has a lot to do with hormones as well, as we're starting to go through that perimenopausal
is there something,
phase.
is there something to be done?
Yes, and so that's why I think that as we go through that transition, having these conversations, because we know physiologically that you are going to have a decline in estrogen and testosterone and progesterone. So what are those things that you can do from a mind-body connection, whether that's cognitive behavioral therapy or going to your doctor and talking about menopausal hormone treatment? Those are the ways that you can do it from a physiologic way, from a hormonal way, but also the connection is the important part, because there are some people who do have hormone therapy but still haven't made that connection with themselves.
Something more than that.
Something more.
I still say, even if you're not with somebody or even thinking about intimacy, buy matching underwear. Start to feel good. Maybe you'll feel good and be open to meeting somebody. Like, you just have to
How
get
do
there.
women explain this? Because doctors say that women in their early 30s struggle with libido. You know, and it's not just something that it's in every decade.
Absolutely. I think that you're going to see changes in what people are eating, medications, and also the environment. Those are also big factors in how we think of libido and what are the things that play with us internally that will decrease that libido. And I think that if we really look at it as a part of our whole wellness, your physical wellness, your emotional wellness, sexual wellness is something that we have to pay attention to get that drive back.
Yeah, and Bobbie, bringing up the conversation is vulnerable and important.
That was great.
Thank
Being
you.
vulnerable.